I'm selling my beloved Park Tote from the row, and if you want to know why, just keep on watching. And hi, if you're new here, my name is Elaine, and on my channel, I like to talk about bags from mid-range to vintage luxury. And for those who are returning, thank you so much for your support and viewership. And so today, I just wanted to do one final video before I send her off. She already has been sold. I sold her on my Fairly Curated Closet IG account. And thank you, Yi, not her real name, for buying this, for purchasing it. If you're watching, I hope you love this bag as much as I do. So why am I selling a bag that I love so much? So first off, if you don't know, I did have quite a few Park Totes come through my collection. I think I probably had like 3 mediums, a small and a large, so about 5 total. I really was like in a craze for the Park Tote since about 2 years ago when I found my first one secondhand in Japan at a brand off in Ginza. Even though that bag was like super worn and, you know, floppy, the handle was floppy, the corners were like caved in, I just really loved that bag. It felt really nice, felt really loved. And then eventually I ended up settling on the medium size. The large was a little too big, the small was a little too small. And I had 3 mediums. I had dark color, light colors, smooth leather, pebbled leather, and then this is the last one remaining. And this one I actually bought brand new from Saks. I think it was like winter 2024 maybe. And the color is cognac. So, you know, the row does color every once in a while. Yeah, I really love this bag. I used it quite a bit actually, and honestly I took really good care of this bag especially. I had it laying flat in my closet, and you know, always have it stuffed when I'm not using it. Also had an organizer inside, and so overall it's in pretty good condition with only slight softening of the corners for a 2-year-old bag that was at one point one of my most used bags of the season. It's looking pretty good. So why am I selling it? So, I mean, this is definitely one of the ones that I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. Like most of the time when I sell a bag, like I know I'm not using it. Was never a most used bag, just not for me, easy. But this was at one point a most used bag, and so it is hard for me to let it go, but there's a couple reasons why. So first off, as you can see back here, I have a dupe. And this dupe is from Wuhe Leathers. I mean, it looks pretty much the same. Of course, a different kind of coloring. And in all honesty, I do prefer kind of a darker, more chocolatey brown than a reddish brown. The reddish brown does pop, but I think personally for my clothes, for my complexion, I like it's a little too warm. And then of course, you know, this dupe from Wuhe Leathers, I talked about it in, I think, an unboxing at some point, is adjustable. So this has a strap that's tucked in currently right now, so that the handle length is pretty much the same as the Park Tote, but it could be lengthened to become a crossbody bag. The leather is Barenia, so it's a Barenia Ebene color, and very durable, can get wet. The quality, it's a little bit smoother than the Park Tote. The Park Tote definitely has a better texture, kind of a better hand feel. Yeah, it's overall, you know, it's really nice. And the interiors, this suede interior is also a lot nicer than the suede interior here. But, you know, this was $700 all in, shipping, tariffs, so on and so forth. 700, 800. And this one is currently retailing for $1,850. It's about $1,000 less. To be honest, I don't use either bag very much these days. I know I'm probably being sucked into the trend where, you know, East-West shoulder bags are all the rage. So of course a North-South Park Tote, North-South Tote isn't quite as popular as it was maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. So yeah, I'm just really in my East-West shoulder carry phase. If I do need a tote like the Park Tote, I can always just go with my Wuhe Leathers version, which is just as functional. It might not have the same sort of smush and feel of the row tote, but on the rare occasion that I need a Park Tote type of bag, I can just go with my Wuhe Leather ones or this Velextra one. So this Velextra one's actually the original. So this, I had this, I think in 2020 I bought this, and so, you know, 6 years old, definitely is worn. This at one point was also one of my most worn bags, especially when my child was a toddler, you know, it's a great sort of diaper bag. It would fit like a diaper pack and everything. So I would say this one's actually, I think the Electra one's a tad bigger. So, you know, it does fit a little bit more. And then also it is adjustable straps. So I could make this a sort of a shorter crossbody bag. I really like the blue with the dark brown. The phone fits perfectly in here. And this Mille Punte leather is very durable, water resistant and such. So again, now I have these two bags already, which is exactly like the Park Tote. And I think at the time, this one might have been about 1,300. I think they still make the bucket bag. This is, I think maybe now called the medium bucket bag. I think the price did go up to about 2,000 at its peak. I'm not sure if it's in production now and what it costs now, but yeah, or occasionally you can find these on the secondhand market. Main reason is because I already have two other bucket style totes. I don't use any of these three very often. The second reason is because I did a video about different pricing models for different sort of luxury brands. And so the gist of it is your satisfaction when it comes to resale, when you end up reselling the bag, depends on sort of the pricing model that you buy into. Their point was that if you buy Hermes items, yes, they cost more, but the resale is better versus if you're paying for trendy items, be aware that trendy items are not going to hold their value. I was talking about your daily carry, and that was saying that, you know, the best daily carries have good craft, are made well, have a good story, and brand recognition. Those particular brands, according to this Emily Urkel post, I'll also link down below, were like the Row, Bottega, and Chanel. And that for those, you get about 50 to 70% back when you resell it. And then my point was that it's true, especially for some of these like more popular ones, styles and brands, you'll have less of a loss if you sell it sooner rather than later. So as soon as you know that, you know, the bag's not for you or you're not using it anymore, if you resell it, then you won't take as much of a hit as if you were just to hold on to it, let it take up shelf space, and then sell it, you know, decades later. So with that in mind, I was like, you know what? I'm not using this Park Tote. It's actually taking up a huge amount of shelf space because I keep it lying flat so that it stays pristine. I might as well sell it now while people still are in love with the Row and the Park Tote. And even the Park Tote is in other colors. It's actually still hard to find. There's a lot, I think, even on the website right now, you can only buy it in black. And especially these like seasonal colors like the cognac. I know, like I did a little bit of research before I put it up online. And some of them are selling for, I mean, the resale sites like Fashion File, The Real, they're selling it for only like $300 less than retail, which I think is kind of a racket, but I understand because they're the middleman. So, you know, they're just, I mean, honestly, they're probably just pricing it for what the market is willing to pay. I, of course, priced it a lot lower, but I did it, I think it was no more than 30% less than retail. And then last but not least, I decided to sell it because I did buy a couple of bags from the Row, but this is my current one. It is the Row Margot Trifold. I'm not sure when it came out. It is a shoulder bag, so it does fit. Actually, let me put it on this side. It does fit fairly well over the shoulder. Very easy. And inside, unfortunately, there's no sort of closure, but it's sort of like the Celine Trio. There's 3 pockets, but it's just in one main compartment. There's 3 compartments inside. It is fairly narrow, so I wouldn't be able to put anything super bulky, but it fits the essentials. And then some. I got this one off of Brandier, which is my favorite reseller on eBay. So yeah, I think as much as I love this bag, I mean, it may show up in one of my bags that I regret selling videos in the future, who knows? But yeah, since I'm not using it, I decided to sell it. So I just wanted to give this bag a proper farewell. She'll be going out in the mail today. And I hope, you know, I hope she is loved in her next home as much as she was loved here. But yes, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. If you did, if you could give it a like, or maybe if you've seen some other videos in the past, if you could subscribe, that would really help support this channel. And thank you again for watching all the way through, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!